So I hear you're chasing some information about your family.
Yes, I am.
Well, actually, I've been doing some research into the area and see if the Tinworths did have any success with their mining. This is a map just showing you how much activity actually occurred underground.
I've just seen Clark's and Tinworth mines here in Ballarat East. That is...
although not your family's, is very close to this area. So it'd be a very similar operation.
That is huge. I mean, this is a massive progression from when they first started.
I noticed this tiny piece of concrete. And what I noticed that was different about the concrete is that it's full of quartz, which means it's not modern concrete. So they're using the materials that are available to them.
Yeah.
So I believe that has been put there by your family.
Wow. Tinworth quartz.
Absolutely.
I'm going to build a house out of it. That's amazing, actually. Well done. There's a little bit of history right there. In fact, a huge bit of history.
It hasn't been uncovered for years.
How exciting is that?
I'm not sure if you're aware, Craig, but today we are mining directly under here. And if you'd like to come underground, I can show you the base of this shaft.
I'm getting goosebumps. I mean, this is ridiculous. This is about coal mining.
Absolutely.
This is about mining, and I'm actually studying
It still exists.
Wow! Underneath this now.
500 to 600 metres below the surface, we are mining today.
That is insane. I love it.
Curtis is taking Craig underground into a modern mine to see the remains of a shaft from the 1870s. The Tinworth mine was only metres away from this site.
So, off to our left, and there we have.
Wow, that is tiny.
Yeah.
That is unreal.
The shaft, you'll just see some timbers in the background there.
Yes, I can.
So that's where the cage would come down with the men.
Oh, OK.
And because it's the sort of the bottom of your workspace, you'll have to bring out your wheelbarrows and your tools for the day. So this level and the entrance, if you're doing it with a pick and a shovel, it's as wide as it has to be because you've got to haul all of that rock back up.
It's laborious, isn't it? I mean, they must have worked tirelessly on that.
So one of the risks working underground, obviously, is the collapse. So while you're tunnelling away, they won't have all of the ground support in, and a number of men lost their lives.
Oh, God. I know you hear of, like, old mines caving in, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh, God. You know, when I look at that, and I think that my ancestors, you know, my family, were down in among that, looking for a new future, you know, and what they're prepared to do to get that new future is beyond me. Living on a pipe dream, you know, living on...
With no guarantees.
With no guarantees, and it's just
It's
incredible.
a big commitment.
Yeah, a massive commitment. I mean, you're risking your life just for a better future.
Craig wants to know if the struggle ever paid off. He's come to Ballarat's Gold Museum to meet historian Jan Croggin.
My great-great-great-grandfather's son, Edward, discovered some sort of mineral way of finding quartz and gold and mining it. I was just wondering whether or not, number one, he was successful at it, and how he went about it.
Edward Tinworth, son of Charles, your great-great-great-grandfather, is actually responsible for one of the things that made it possible to make a lot of money. He was only 13 years old. He worked out that if you could find where the quartz intersected with slate, you found a lot of nuggety gold. Now, that became more or less a rule. You've probably heard of the indicator.
Yeah, I've heard the word, but I never fully understood it.
Well, Edward Tinworth found the indicator for the Ballarat East goldfield.
Wow.
So it's pretty exciting.
That is, and that's an upturn, I can tell you. I've been in the doldrums, darling, you know, and then they come up with it. That's brilliant. Oh, that's exciting.
And, of course, the second question you asked me was it helpful?
Yeah.
Have a look at that and see what you think. It's a Geological Survey of Victoria.
Oh, I see. List of nuggets found in Victoria. Oh, here we go. Tinworth's party. And that was from the indicator.
And how much did it weigh?
This was in 1880.
And it weighed about...
250
ounces.
That's huge.
Yeah, it is huge.
I mean, how much is that actually worth?
on today's prices would be £1,000 an ounce.
Wow.
So that's £250,000.
£250,000. Oh, that's brilliant. They must have absolutely been delighted. I mean, they'd been through so much hardship. I mean, to finally win the lottery.
If you'd like an indication of what a nugget might have looked like,
Yeah, I would love that.
we can show you. This is a bit special, yeah.
You're kidding.
You like to?
Yeah, I want to hold it. Of course I do.
This nugget, have a feel, 29 ounces.
That is really, really heavy. It's amazing.
Craig knows that his great-great-grandfather danced in Emmerdale.
I just found it really fascinating that there is finally some theatricality in my blood.
He's been put in touch with local historian Anne Fairbanks.
This is lovely, isn't it? Sweet little town. I'm here to actually find out a little bit more about my great-great-grandfather, Harry. And I thought I had to absolutely come here to see where he performed.
You may be interested in this a little bit.
Well, the Sydney Morning Herald. That's a big old paper, isn't it, darling? That's like a proper one.
Yes.
Challenge. I, Harry Macklin, am open to dance any man in Australia at hornpipe dancing for 20 quid. Which dances the most steps, dances them the cleanest, and keeps the best time. Man and money ready at Westmoreland Street, Forest Lodge. Wow. So is this like an advertisement?
Yes, he's
challenging.
actually challenging somebody.
Challenging people for 20 quid. That's quite a lot of money back then,
And this
isn't
is
it?
1871. You know, 20 quid back then is about $1,000.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's money. That's a lot of money.
I just can't imagine putting an ad in. I will dance. I'm open to dance. Any man in Australia with hornpipe dancing. But who's judging him? This is the thing.
He's probably going to judge himself.
Yeah, well, he must be. Man and money ready. That is brilliant.
It's good, isn't it?
I mean, he's really, like, throwing it out there, isn't he?
But
To make
not
money.
only that, to get to Sydney from here, he would have had to travel overland to Grafton, which would have
Yes.
taken 3 or 4 days by horse. And then from Grafton, he would have gone to the coast and caught a steamer to Sydney
Yeah,
just to go down there to perform.
that is amazing.
You have another little one here too. Have a look at the date.
Friday, January the 26th,
Yeah,
1872.
Which we, of course, know as Australia
Yeah, Australia Day.
So he's hopped off to Sydney for Australia Day.
At 4:30, the champion clog dancer, Harry Macklin, in his celebrated dancers. It's just insane.
It gets even better, Craig. Now have a look at this. That building there is the one that he performed at on Australia Day. It actually made the London news. So the rallies back home
Could
could have seen how well he was doing here in
but
good
I mean,
old Oz.
Did he tell the relatives back there, oh, I'm going to be a champion clog dancer and I'm going to be performing
He probably did
almost
when he-
equivalent to the Opera House?
He probably said that when he left home. He said, you'll be hearing about me.
That is amazing. I mean, to think, actually, how on earth he learnt any of that is beyond me. You know, to become the New South Wales champion for clogging is just insane. What I find interesting in the parallel that I can draw is he moved from this, you know, sleepy town of Emmerdale. He went to the Big Smoke to make it. That was Sydney, of course, and I was in Ballarat, and I moved what I call the Big Smoke, which was Melbourne. So to think that my great-great-grandfather has done the same thing is just madness.